I do a lot of walking and I pay attention to what I'm looking at. I pay attention to conversations that I'm overhearing in people if I'm in a coffee shop or something. And I constantly take notes uh, about thoughts that come into my head. Um, I don't worry so much about knowing what the story is going to be. I'm not one to believe that the character is going to tell me. I'm not that mystical, but I do think that if I start a story, I have enough trust in myself that it'll come through.
When I have an idea, I write an outline, a plot, so to speak, roughly, and then just sit at my computer and start writing. And it just flows, and I enjoy it.
I don't write from an outline. It's kind of writing into the dark, as they say, but I know what the story's going to be, and I just let the characters play it out. My first book, I knew really from start to finish what was going to happen, but like the one I'm working on now, I'm just following the characters along as they would live their lives.
Green Valley Writers Forum here is a wonderful group of people. We usually have anywhere from 10 to 15 people. It's a critique group. We read for 10 minutes. Everyone goes around the table and gives some comment about what they liked, what they didn't like, what might be needed. And you have to trust that. I trust what they're saying. It's not that we use everything that everybody says, but trusting that people are doing it in the best interest. And I listen to that. I listen to what people are telling me, and most of the time I use it.
Well, I started writing after I retired from my career. And I'd always kind of thought about writing a children's book. I had read, actually, as a young adult, The Wind in the Willows, and I absolutely loved that story. I loved the animals in it. I love, just it's to this day, it's one of my favorite stories. And so that's why I knew I wanted to have a story with animals in it. I wrote the book and then I went online to find a publisher that I thought would work for me. And one of the first things he suggested I have done was an appraisal, which is giving you an idea of how marketable your book might be. And part of that appraisal was the length for a children's picture book. Usually 1,800 to 2,200 words. Well, my story was 3,600 words. That was one of the things in the appraisal. Another one was you don't want to have more than 4 main characters. Well, I had 7. And you want both boys and girls. And my first go at it, all my characters were boys. So that appraisal was a huge part of learning about my genre.
Essentially, I publish under my own company. It's called Hideaway Park Press, and Readmark does all the work for me. As much as I enjoy writing, I would not care to be sitting there and putting things into an e-format and all that business that's involved. I very much enjoy Readmark doing that for me.
Well, I've been involved in Tucson Festival Books, the big one. I was in that for, I guess, a total about 5 years. A couple times with Wheatmark, and 3 times as an independent author. One time I was right on the main drag as an independent author in their tent, and I did quite well. Next 2 times I was in the backside, and no one ever came around that tent, so that didn't do so well. As far as book fairs, as we're going to have in November here, um, that they usually do pretty well.
I've participated in the Tucson Festival of Books twice. I hope to again this year. 130,000 book lovers go through there in 2 days. Um, But the most critical thing for me at live events is if I can chat with somebody. And a lot of times it may not even be about a particular book, it may not be about the writing process, just getting to know someone. And far more likely they're going to buy a book if they can connect with you personally.
I think it's a good way for your neighbors, people in the area, Tucson particularly, and maybe even from Tubac, to come up and visit us and see what we have to offer.